Okay, let's take a look at lesson 2. I will solve multiplicative comparison word problems by applying the area and perimeter formulas. So we're going to continue to take a look at area and perimeter formulas just like we did in lesson 1, but today we're going to apply it to some multiplicative comparison. So that just means that we're going to be multiplying and comparing some things, and I'm going to point out to you some multiplicative comparisons as we get started. All right, so go ahead and get your math journal today. Put today's date. Lesson 2, comparison problems with area and perimeter. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and press play. All right, so the first thing I want you to do in your math journal is I want you to draw this rectangle just like you see that I have here. And I want you to divide your rectangle into 3 sections. Okay, and I want you to take a look at this. So what would be the length and width of this rectangle? We don't know if this is centimeters or inches, so we would just say this is 1 unit by 1, 2, 3 units. So it's 1 by 3. We don't know what the units are. We don't know if they're centimeters or inches, so 1 by 3. Okay? So far, that's pretty much what we did yesterday. If I wanted to find the area, I would take 3 times 1, and the area of this would be 3 square units. If I wanted to find the perimeter, I would add up all the sides. I would say 3 plus 3 plus 1, and that would give me, whoops, doing weird things today. All right, and that would give me 6, 7, 8, so the perimeter would be 8. All right, now I want you to make your rectangle twice as long. You don't have to draw a new rectangle like I did. Here's what I want you to do. I actually want you to add on to your rectangle and make it twice as long. So we would take our rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and just draw another one, but you could just go ahead and make yours twice as long. Or I'm going to go ahead and erase this other stuff that I wrote so that I have a little bit of room to write. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at our rectangle now. It's twice as long. So let's talk about the dimensions. We know that the width is still 1, so I'm going to keep that as 1. The width is still 1, but the length is no longer 3 like it was before. It's twice as long. So now it's 3 and 3, so it is 6. This is a multiplicative comparison. If you say 2 times as long, you are comparing using multiplication. And if you'll notice, 3 times 2 is 6. That is a multiplicative comparison. Now, you don't have to do this in your journal, but I want you to think about this for a minute. I could go ahead and take this one step further, and I could make it 3 times as long. And the width would still be 1, but the length would be 3 times 3, so the width would be 9. That is a multiplicative comparison. That's what we're going to be doing today. All right, we're going to do one more problem. All right, so the rectangle that we're going to be making is 2 meters wide. So I want you to go ahead and draw what you see that I've drawn here. I want you to go ahead and just draw a line. We're not going to draw the rest of the rectangle. We're just going to draw this, and we're going to label it 2 meters wide. It is 3 times as long as it is wide. That means the length can be thought of as 3 segments or short lines, each 2 meters long. So you can see what I've done here. I want you to go ahead and do this. Go ahead and add a section of 2, and then we're using little dotted lines. So if it's 3 times as long as it is wide, here's 1 time longer. This would be 2 times as long as it is wide. So I would label this 2 meters. And one more time would be 3 times as long as it is wide. So you'll see. I started here. Here's how wide it is. It's 3 times as long as it is wide. So that means 3 twos. So now that I have my rectangle, I can see that the rectangle is actually 2 meters wide, and 2, 2, and 2 would be 6 meters long. Now I could solve a couple of problems with it. Okay? I could go ahead and find the perimeter. I want you to find the perimeter of this rectangle. Remember, there are several formulas for perimeter. This formula is the easiest to understand. You just take the length and add it to the other length, and the width and the width. So you just say 6 plus 6, because remember this is 6 also. 6 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2. Add that all together and you'll get the perimeter. I want you to go ahead and do that, and then I want you to press play whenever you think you have the answer. All right, so you should have come up with a perimeter of 16. Now you'll see that I used a different formula. I used 2 plus 6, which is 8, and I multiply that times 2, but you could have said 6 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 And that still would have got you 16 meters because this is 12 and this is 4, and 12 plus 4 is 16. Either one of these will get you the same answer. Now I want you to try to find the area, and when you think you have the answer, come back and press play. All right, you should have got 12 square meters because remember, area is length times width, and 2 times 6 is 12 square meters. All right, so let's go ahead and get a start on our problem set. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our problem set. So go ahead and write your name at the top, and then let's go ahead and get started. So we're talking about a rectangular porch, and the porch is 4 feet wide, and it is 3 times as long as it is wide. Excuse me. Label the diagram with the dimensions of the porch. So if it's 4 foot wide, where do you think I would write 4 feet? Is this the length or is this the width? Usually the width is the short side, so I'm going to go ahead and make this 4 feet. And then it's 3 times as long as it is wide. That does not mean that this is 3 and this is 3 and this is 3. This means that I have 3 fours. So 4 foot, 4 foot, 4 foot, and 4 foot. All together, 4, 4, and 4 would be 12 foot. So the dimensions are 4 foot by 12 foot. Now it says find the perimeter of the porch. So again, I can use a lot of different, sorry, I don't know why this popped up. I'm trying to get rid of this. I could use a lot of different formulas to find the perimeter. For example, I could say perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So let's go ahead and just add up all these sides. I've got 12 plus 4, so let's do 12 plus 4 plus the other side is 12, so that'd be another 12 plus another 4. Well, 12 plus 4 is 16 and 16. So 16 plus 16 is 32 feet. That's one formula for perimeter. I also could have used the formula perimeter equals 2 times length plus width. In this case, I would have said 2 times 12 plus 4. Well, 12 plus 4 is 16, and 16 times 2 is 32. Both of these formulas will work. You use the one that makes the most sense to you. All right, now it says a narrow rectangular banner is 5 inches wide. It is 6 times as long as it is wide. So we're going to make a rectangle. I'm going to kind of cheat here and use my rectangle tool so it looks a little bit neater because when I try to draw with this pen, it doesn't look exactly right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and label this 5 inches. And it says that it's 6 times as long as it is wide. Again, that does not mean that I'm going to put 6, 6, 6. That means I'm going to divide this into 6 boxes. So let's go ahead and kind of do this. And they're not going to be perfect. I'm going to do the best I can. So 3 on that side, 3 on this side. So that makes a total of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now let's go ahead and label these. So this is 5, 5, 5. Okay, so it's 6 times as long as it is wide. Now all of those 5s together equal 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this would be 30 inches. Now it says find the perimeter and area of the banner. So perimeter, I'm going to add all the sides. 30 plus the other side, which is 30, plus 5, plus the other side, which is 5. So this gives me 60, and this gives me 10. 60 plus 10 is 70, and these are inches, so 70 inches. Now to find the area, that is length times width. So I have 30 times 5. Well, 3 times 5 is 15, and this is a 10, so I'm going to add a 10, 150 square inches. All right, let's take a look at the back side. The area of a rectangle is 42 square centimeters. Its length is 7 centimeters. So let's go ahead and draw our rectangle. Now it says, we know that the area is 42 square centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and write that on the inside of this. So the area is 42, and the length is 7, and it's asking me for the width. Well, I know that area equals length times width. Well, I know the area, so I know 42 square centimeters. I know that the length is 7. I'm trying to figure out W. So I have to ask myself, 7 times what equals 42? So that's just basic division. 42 divided by 7 is 6. So the width is 6, and we're talking about centimeters, so 6 centimeters. Charlie wants to draw a second rectangle that is the same length but is 3 times as wide. Draw and label Charlie's rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to draw another rectangle. I'm going to use my rectangle drawing tool again because I don't want to look like a mess. All right, now let's go ahead and move that down a little bit so I can draw on it. All right, now, so I have the same, it says here that it has the same length. So actually, I didn't draw this very accurately because if the length is 7 and it's 3 times as wide, then this isn't exactly what that rectangle would look like. So actually, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to try this again. Because really, this rectangle is going to be the same width as this. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, okay, and I'm going to put it right down here. Oops, I'm going to paste. Let's paste it. All right, paste. Now I've got the same length, but this one is actually going to be 3 times as wide. So it would actually be wider. So let me copy that again and paste. Now this isn't going to be 3 times as wide because I don't have as much room. So it's actually just going to be 2 times as wide, okay? So bear with me. No. Okay, here we go. Supposed to be 3 times as wide. So just pretend that that's 3 times as wide. All right, so I've got a length of 7, and it's supposed to be 3 times as wide. So it's really supposed to be 6, 6, and 6. So 6 times 3 would be 18. So this would be 18, and this would be 18, and both of these sides would be 7. So it says draw and label Charlie's second rectangle. So that's what we did. Now it says, what is the perimeter of Charlie's rectangle? So remember, perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So we've got 18 plus 7 plus 18 plus 7. So I know that 18 plus 7 is actually 25. 18 plus 7 again is 25. So 25 plus 25 equals 50. These are actually centimeters, so it's going to be 50 centimeters. Now, if you wanted to use the other formula for perimeter, you could have said perimeter equals 2 times length plus width, and that would have been 2 times 7 plus 18, which would have been 2 times 25, and 25 times 2 is 50. So you get the same answer, but you have to figure out which of these formulas makes sense to you, and use the one that makes sense. All right, we've got a couple more problems here. The area of Betsy's rectangular sandbox is 20 square feet. All right, so let's go ahead and draw that. All right, so we've got, I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 rectangles here because I'm pretty sure it's going to ask me to. This one says it's twice as long and twice as wide, so I'm going to make this one bigger. Okay, it says that her rectangular sandbox has an area of 20 square feet. So I'm going to go ahead and label that. Then it says the longer side measures 5 feet. The sandbox at the park is twice as long and twice as wide as Betsy's. Draw and label a diagram of Betsy's sandbox. So if the area here is 20, so remember area equals length times width. So if the area is 20, and I know that one side is 5, and I'm trying to figure out W, I'm thinking to myself, 5 times what equals 20? Well, I know 5 times 4 equals 20. So W equals 4. So this would be 4. Now I can find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So the perimeter would be 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4. So this is basically 9 plus 9, which is 18 feet. Then it says, draw and label a diagram of the sandbox at the park. I want to see if you can try this one by yourself. It says that it is twice as long and twice as wide as Betsy's. If you get stuck, you can always press play, but I want you to pause and see if you can find the dimensions and then find the perimeter and then come back and check with me. All right, so if this is 5, 5 and 5 would be 10 feet. And if it's twice as wide, it would be 4 and 4. 4 and 4 are 8. Now I'm ready to find the perimeter. So the perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width. I'm going to do this like this. Length plus width plus length plus width. Well, I know that this is 10 and this is 10 and that makes 20. This is 8 and this is 8 and that makes 16. 20 plus 16 equals 36 feet. Remember, when you get stuck on perimeter and area, come back and take a look at your formulas and check your problem set. That's where you're going to find the best information.